Alright guys, welcome back indeed to our Diablo 2 Median XL playthrough, and like I said, each act we'll be playing it as a different class, or maybe I'll just respec some of these. I actually thought about that as well, because obviously we haven't checked out the Boson, and I think that that's a very iconic and one of the classes I would consider to be one of the favorites. Now, since in Act 1 we did play as a sorceress, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my items before we go ahead and hop into Act 2 as a Hammer Amazon. It's kind of weird. The item that we are using is a War Scepter. It does technically have the look of a Warhammer. There's a lot of overlap in Diablo 2 as far as like what the items look like, but it is actually a War Scepter. But the attack that we will be using is actually going to be the hammer skill that is very iconic from the Paladin. So let me go and show you guys what that looks like really quick. So you can see it's actually throwing out maces, even though it's considered scepters, even though it looks like a warhammer, I know. But that's the primary skill that we will be using. I do want to mention though, because of the way it interacts with certain objects, anything that it can't pass through, it will actually just get destroyed. So we actually have to run two different things. We're going to have to run this like lightning attack, as well as, of course, the hammer, because this is a hammered-in Amazonist build. But let's go ahead and showcase off the gear, and I'll talk a little bit about this character before we just hop in and finish Act 2. So anyways, we're using Dream Swear. It just gives us extra damage, really, is what it comes down to. I also put a Perfect Ruby in it to get extra life per kill, and also life stolen per hit. Then we actually have another unique over here. It just gives us extra small amount of damage, extra defense. Cloud Letter might break. It is an ethereal item, but it does give you +1 to all skills, and then plus another to all druid and sword skills, but again, it rolled ethereal. Technically I could use this for dueling, or I can throw it on a mercenary, I think in Act 3. Speaking of mercenary, our mercenary over here is actually going to be a shapeshifter, which is not in vanilla Diablo. It's only in Median XL Sigma, as well as maybe a few other Diablo mods, but it's a shapeshifter, which is really cool. But you'll see him transform. But there's really not anything that's super insanely like OP that we actually got. Dream Swear was an item that I actually had on another character, so I transferred it over to my Amazon because it is again it's a scepter build, but it's technically like the hammered in. So I'm gonna call it the hammered in Amazon or something. I don't know, whatever the title is. Anyways, let's get started with Act 2 finally. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and complete the entirety of Act 2. Oh, I should probably also explain some of the skill point choices. So we basically went down the path of the hammer, because it's the hammer of Zaray. But I did put a few points into the javelin skills just to check them out. I didn't think they were anything too cool. I will showcase them off later, but I wanted to mainly focus in on the hammer build. So one important aspect in Diablo is to get hit recovery. You can get stun locked quite easy. But because this character uses a shield, there's also the blocking animation. There is something that you can mitigate as far as the blocking animation to go. Oh, you know what? Before we even go straight out over here into like the draw hills into the far oasis, we actually should do the sewers first, because the sewers will actually give us another skill point. So you'll see the hammer over here. The hammer is great. Amazing damage. Amazing damage. But the problem with the hammers is if they collide with anything, it's a GG. So like certain areas like this, you'll see the hammer, it doesn't last very long at all. So we're going to primarily be using the attack where, ooh, there's a rare jewel here. Primarily going to be using the hammer in areas that we can use it in, but again, in these small areas, you're not going to get very much value out of the hammer. Where's level 2 for sewers? Oh, it's over here. So like I said, the game has built-in map hack. If you guys, for whatever reason, are watching this in part 2, maybe because you saw the title, like a hammered in Amazon, you're like, dude, that's crazy. Definitely check out part 1, because that's part of the playthrough is, of course, showing you guys everything that there is a Median XL, but I'm trying to space it out. I'm not trying to give you guys too much information. There's actually an alternate entrance to the sewers, which you can enter in through the side here. It usually will give you a closer access to it, but sometimes it's RNG. But I don't think we really need the waypoint, because I'm going to be playing so many classes here. What the heck is the Hand of God? That's something that I don't think I've seen before in vanilla Diablo, but let's go and check out what the Hand of God is. Okay, it's a paladin two-handed. Is it a hammer or is it a mace? But yeah, some of the items have changed in the game, but I can, however, show you disenchanting uniques or legendaries if you're from Diablo 3, same thing. But some of the items you'll actually want to use to craft other things, but it takes a while. Like I said, I didn't want to overwhelm you guys with too much content. Let's go ahead and just kill all of these. Let's go ahead and pick up the rare amulet over there. Here's Radamont. This is kind of like the boss of the sewers. He's not very difficult though. Where is he? He just summons a lot of stuff. That's all I remember. I think this is a new enemy, the Pack. But actually, I want to say it's a Diablo 3 model that got like put in, or perhaps from another game. Because I know that there is a shield in Diablo where when you block, it summons like a wolf, and I think that they maybe actually colored it. So it used to be like blue. In fact, you can see some of these icons over here, like the new stat points. It's like a monk, I believe it's Serenity. So some of the skills are taken from Diablo 3 as far as like the icons. Like I said, the hammer is just so great. But again, in certain areas, we can't even use it. Look at the chunks that we're doing on him. Alright, so we got ceremonial armor. Also, I didn't mention it in the first act that we're doing because again, I'm not trying to overwhelm you guys with too much content too early on. But the one next to it is the tier of the item. You can actually get several tiers of uniques, and eventually you'll be able to get these other types of items that are more like elite. But let's go ahead and return to town. The reason why I want to do this quest really quick is because this will actually lower the vendor prices. You just gotta talk to Atma. So this will actually make it so, it doesn't actually specify. But it makes it so if I go to the vendors, instead of these being 15,000, they're 13,505. So it's like a small little discount here, and that is actually quite nice. Let's see what this does. Not good enough. Sorcerers only. And druid skills. Enhanced defense. Okay. So I plan to get some of these mystic orbs. I'm not sure if I really need the poison resist right now. There's poison length reduced by something. This act, specifically Act 2, the poison can get really nasty. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to see if we need it. I don't think we need points into really anything, but this I always want to max out. Hit recovery is so important, and then we have balance, which just gives us flat extra defensive stats. But yeah, go ahead and show you guys the javelin skills. I don't actually have a really good javelin, but for the sake of entertainment purposes, let's go ahead and check out what the javelin can actually do. So we have this attack, which let me actually hit an object here. Oh, okay, there you go. So basically, it hits the target, and then there's like these little shurikens that come out from the assassin. Ricochet makes it so it bounces back in between targets. It's not anything too insane. Then we have Moonbeam over here, which shows the animation over there. It's going to convert 50% of physical damage to magic. And magic in Diablo 2 is relatively strong because there's not that many things that are that have resistance to magic. There are things, but for the most part, it's a lot less, and that's why like paladins are really strong in vanilla Diablo. In fact, I think paladin is probably the best class if you happen to have the gear. I usually like to play Sork in vanilla Diablo, but like, let's go ahead and throw some more hammers here. Hammers are a little bit slower to activate though, because they obviously take time to activate and start spinning. But it is a really good skill. It's just that when it collides with an object, it suffers a lot. So I don't know if I could really recommend the hammer Amazon build, but like if you mix it in with the lightning attack, it is pretty good. We also have another skill that's kind of like the okay, we already have the cube, so we don't need to go to the Halls of Dead. They just give it to you in a lot of mods. In fact, they just give you the item. But we have this ability called Storm Call. I think it's terrible. It reminds me of Apocalypse, like from Diablo 1. It just hits like a bunch of stuff, but it doesn't do enough damage. Is the problem. Maybe if you can level it up, it might be a little bit more viable, but what the heck is that? A soul rune. Nice, nice. So yeah, in this part, we might be able to dip into crafting. It depends how many legendaries or unique items that we actually obtain, because we actually do need those. In fact, I keep on looking over to check my Twitch chat, except for right now I'm currently uploading something for YouTube, so I decided not to stream. I wanted to record this Diablo content for you guys, because not only do I really enjoy this game, but I want to try to get like at least one act done every day for uploading. Because obviously I'm doing more than one act per day, but it's because I have to grind and level up the character, so I can go ahead and do that. Like I said, for Act 3, I actually have a boson. Like I'm not gonna respec this one because I want to build every single build in this, because in Diablo 2 I built every single class in almost every single way. I mean, I had a bear sorceress. I even had an enchant bot. As in, like, oh, that's all it would do, is it would just literally throw enchant on your character. That was it. Like I said, I bought like 10 plus copies of Diablo, so I could have multiple characters basically in one game, and you can buff yourself. Like I was pretty hardcore with Diablo 2. Let's rebuff ourselves, get some extra damage here. But yeah, like I said, the hammer in this area would be terrible. Look at it; it can't even come out. I don't know if I'm gonna. I guess the first time it comes out. I think that it should be patched in the future. I'm hoping that they do that. Maybe that's a decision that they just decided to go with the game, because it's so powerful you can only use it in certain areas, because Maggot Layer is basically just a long, narrow area, and then because this attack has lightning, which just like pierces everything, it's really great because everyone's just lined up perfectly for you. So it makes things very, very easy indeed. But yeah, I know a lot of people don't really like Act 2. For me personally, when it comes to Diablo 2, I don't really like Act 3 as far as like actually playing. Obviously, for rushing, Act 3 is not that bad at all, because you just go to what is it, Lower Karast, and then you just you can get the tome that's going to give you the extra stat points. But finding all the parts, I think it takes almost as long, but a lot of the Act 3 areas, to me personally, are just not very memorable compared to Act 2, because you remember the Arcane Sanctuary, which I think is one of the coolest areas like ever. So we have the Staff of Kings, and then we got to go ahead and get Amulet of the Viper, if I could click on that. And that's going to go ahead and be in the Claw Viper Temple. So we're going to go ahead and go to the Far Oasis, and then I believe it's like Valley of the Snakes. Okay. This area hasn't loaded, and we're probably getting rubber banded right here pretty soon. Hopefully the servers didn't reset, did it say? They mentioned servers resetting? Okay. Actually, we should make this... Oh, there it is, like I said. Let's go ahead and kill some people here so I can actually... Oh, gosh, the rubber banding was huge right there. It might be because I'm also using most of my bandwidth to upload, but I figured Diablo doesn't need too much bandwidth, because I used to play this on a dial-up modem perfectly fine. Like, legitimately no problems at all, like, back in the day. It was insane what they were able to do on the Battle.net client. Alright, we're on the Lost City, and then... should be over here. Yeah, I see it. Should get the waypoint. I think the waypoint, yeah, is pretty much on the way. Sometimes if the waypoint's too far out, I won't get it. But if it's on the way, I'll grab it. And if you do die, it does suck, but I think we're gonna be okay. Any stat points? No. But yeah, I love the shape-shifting mercenary. I think that's such a great addition to the game. Like, just again, newer content for Diablo 2. It's cool. This raider enemy, I want to say it's a new enemy as well. Oh, we just got a rare ring. Let's see if this is any better than what we have. More than likely it will be, because it'll just have more stats, more things to roll on it. Let's go and check out what that ring was. Oh, we got 5% cast speed, 2 to minimum damage. I can still use on my gear if I have this. This just gives me all attributes. So I'm going to throw that on. And then we got a rare ring. We got block speed and hit recovery. That's really great. And then also mana. I'm going to swap it out with the 6 life, because vitality is actually stronger than life. Depending on what class you are and what other things that you have. Ooh, is this not going to path through? Oh, that's an oof. But vitality will always be better than life. The reason why is because plus vitality can be more than 1 life. 1 life is going to be 1 life, unless of course you have something that like scales specifically life, but that will also scale with vitality anyway, so you'll just get better results with vitality. So let's put 1 point into vitality. Okay, so this is how much life we have. We have 984, right? So I put 1 point into vitality. We get 2 points, alright? Now obviously that can change later down the line when we have things that give us scaling percentage. There are a lot more things in Medium XL that will give you scaling on your attributes. Yeah, I'm almost like 1-2-shotting most of the things in the game right now. I'm going to throw a portal up just in the off chance that we get stun locked by the Vipers.
I hope I know what I'm doing.
I'm not sure if they have like stun. Like I said, on the corridors, we gotta use the lightning ability. Can't use the hammer. It's the walls. But there's a lot of areas in Diablo that are like this, so I don't know if this was actually a good idea to actually build this character the way we did. But we'll see. I mean, because I'm kind of like using 2 skills, usually in Diablo 2, I'd say most people just stick with 1 skill. But there's the Amulet of the Viper. It usually gives you pretty good poison res. 50% poison res. We're going to throw that on because it also gives us extra XP gains, so let's go ahead and throw that on, and we will craft the staff very soon.
Let there be light.
And at this point, we gotta talk to like a bunch of people. More likely, it's Arcane. Oh, we gotta talk to him again. And Dragon to ask about the strange darkness. And now we should be able to talk to Jaren. Okay, cool. Alright, we don't really have to talk to him, but alright. So now we're in the harem, and we need to get to the Arcane Sanctuary. Oh my gosh, these guys do not mess around. Oh, absorbs lightning too, which is kind of the damage that we do. We go ahead and summon a bunch of these little fire elementals. They just do like extra little damage. It helps out when things are immune. They don't do very much damage, but they can hold aggro sometimes, and that is nice. I'm pretty much just slamming everything at vitality. But, damn, we can't put points in these. We just have to level up more. This lets us have a lot of attack. The 150% attack speed is so good, but at the cost of having 0 defense, it's not worth it. That means you're going to be getting hit every single time. Oh, these guys, the Shredders. They were in Act 1 as well, in the Catacombs. Getting slowed down is a pretty big deal. Like I said, certain areas, the hammer just won't work, and this is one of those areas. I'm going to grab the rune. Runes are pretty important in this game. Well, I mean, they're important in Diablo in general, but more important in this one, because you can actually upgrade your weapons to a different tier if you happen to have them. You get these arcane crystals, and I'll explain that more later down the line because we can't really afford to do it now. Because you can actually craft legendaries as well, or uniques. Again, when I say legendaries, uniques, they're basically the same thing. It's just because I know some people might have followed me for Diablo 3 content, because I did stream a little bit of Diablo 3 this week because of the new season. I think we peaked at like top 300 this season. Last season we did duos and got rank 1 for the first night, which was great. I just like playing Diablo 3 when the season first starts. I think it's the most competitive. But later down the line, there's bots, people share accounts, and it just becomes really difficult. And it's just too much of like just redundant repetitiveness for me that I don't enjoy as much as Diablo 2. I feel like there's a lot more that you can get in Diablo 2 when it comes down to yellows, because in Diablo 3, there's pretty much like the best in slot. They're all uniques. And that's one thing that I really like value that Path of Exile did, which was like a unique is like sometimes you just have one unique, and then you know you craft what you want to craft on yellow items that can be insane. Because I feel like that's what makes your character unique, and if all the characters that you have in the game are exactly the same, like as far as, oh, you play wizard, oh, this is like the best build, alright, this is the stuff that you need. Which gives some direction to people. I know a lot of people like that kind of stuff. For me, I like my character feeling more unique. Like I was trying a Broken Promise build of a Talrasha wizard. It wasn't that great, to be honest, though. It's because there's some type of internal cooldown on how many times things can proc from hitting and registering on Broken Promise. Is there a boss here? I feel like some of this is using like Poison Nova that like is like a frozen orb on me. Let's go ahead and go through the portal. And we're about to complete Act 2 quite fast. Normally you'd have to go through all of these to find out which one has the summoner. But we're going to find out which one it is by just seeing the little tome over here. And we know it is in the top right. Let's go ahead and go over there. Oh gosh, it's this one that has the teleporters. This is one of the more annoying ones because sometimes you have to actually like look at the map as far as where it's pathing, but I guess it's pretty like spaced out on this one. It's when there's too many of these portals next to each other is when it becomes kind of problematic. Like for example, do I go over here? Okay, yeah, I do. I think. Or the other one. But at least with this area, even though it has like this like stair for like high ground, it doesn't get blocked by the hammer doesn't get blocked by it, which is great. Let's go ahead and just rush the summoner. I feel like we're doing really good. What's our lightning resistance? 75%. Wow, huge. I mean, that's why we're taking like no damage. But I love playing the Amazon. And like I said, I might do Act 3 as my boson that I built. Because to me, it's still like a different like class, essentially. Because, I mean, the Hammered Enemy is definitely going to be playing a lot different than the Barrage build of the Amazon. Alright. There is the Summoner. Oh gosh, he melted, dude. The hammers are so strong. Alright, so you can go ahead and sometimes on certain map packs it will actually tell you which tomb is the real one, because you don't actually technically before you used to be able to guess the tomb and you would do that for certain speedruns, but that has actually since been changed. But let's go slam some more points of vitality. Can we put any more into that balance? Okay, so Wild and Free is going to give us faster hit recovery. It gives us movement speed, but it's the faster hit recovery that we're really looking forward to. And then we also can put one more point in a hammer, Thunder Crack, which is our thunder ability, and then the balance, which just gives us flat extra defense points. But as far as the Tomb of Tel Rasha, the real one is the moon-looking shape, the bottom moon. So what we're going to do is go over here. Oh, does it actually? It actually does. Okay, so it says Tel Rasha's tomb. So this one does tell you. It just tells you via getting close enough to it, I guess. It was important to make a portal here. So Duriel will give us a unique too. Duriel and Duriel will 100% give you a unique item, legendary. Again, same thing. Oh wait, this is the wrong path. Wait, where the heck is it? It said that this one was Tel Rasha's tomb, didn't it? Wait, hold on. Oh wait, it's the right one. Okay, it's just over here. Use the regular lightning. Because again, some of the smaller rooms like this, good luck, man. Oh, blue, that's a new enemy. Ooh. Zoltan Cool's in the game? Dude, that's too cool. He's the Act 3 mercenary. I'm surprised our fire elementals are still alive here. Do you drop anything good? No. What is that? Superior, what is it? Raptor Scythe. Maybe for some of the items I'll transfer over, like Firma Necromancer, just to have that, because you can roll certain things on it, and it has what 4 sockets. Dang, that's nice. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and throw up a portal. We're gonna swap back to the other amulet because we're gonna be crafting the Herodric Staff over here. Let's see what it actually does. Oh, it gives you vendor price discount. Dang, dude, that's actually pretty cool. Although we have to actually get rid of it now because we are at the final boss of Act 2. That was fast, dude. That was like half an hour for Act 3. I mean, granted, we did have map pack, and our character does run pretty fast. Alright, let's go. Hopefully we won't die, though. I do have a lot of gold, but in this game, there's no death penalty, which I think is a pretty good change. No one really likes to drop all the gold. I also forgot to make this game public. Because I wouldn't mind doing it with more people, but sometimes for playthroughs, they can mess things up, you know. Probably shouldn't have put that portal there, but let's see how much damage we're doing to Duriel. Duriel, we could definitely use the hammers on, because it's completely open. Look at these. He's building walls, dude. Alright, what do you drop? A Ral Root, and what the heck is this? Labras? The Wrath Child. One of the Barb skills. Enhanced damage, extra max damage, Crushing Blow, Earthquake. Barbarian only. Okay, that will be kind of cool. Maybe we'll build a Barb for the next part of our playthrough of Diablo, but let's go ahead and continue over here. What the heck? I don't think I've seen these fire towers before. What the heck? They're in Diablo 2 Reaper of Souls. They added like a huge area next to Duriel, like for their mod, but I guess this one's just okay. I liked this much better. The other one was like super long and difficult. All right, so important thing: after you complete this, you gotta talk to Jaren for. Or I'm sorry, is it? I think yeah, you talk to Jaren first, then you talk to Mischief, which is a huge mistake a lot of people make because they want to instantly sail east.
Hello. I thank you.
All right, so you've done very well, my friend. Okay, I'm gonna talk to Mischief, which is the guy that owns the boat.
Greetings, Amma.
Greetings, Jaren tells me to take you east, and we are indeed in Act 3. Actually, I haven't seen this cutscene in a while. I know I skipped the other ones, but I don't remember it. As it just say Act 3, that might be it.
My companion
was
drew
loud.
in the dank, cold air of the tomb. It seemed to strengthen him. I stood in the doorway between light and dark. What was left of my sanity implored me not to enter. But that voice was just a whisper now. As we worked our way down, deeper and deeper into the crypt, I began to see a change in my companion. He seemed to be gaining strength. I could hardly see in the gloom, but my companion seemed to know the way. We came at last to a great hall. It was then I realized my companion hadn't been gaining strength. He had been losing what was left of his humanity.
So loud.
He moved with demonic speed, and then you appeared.
Stop! The beast contained herein shall not be set free, not even by you. Just ensured the doom of this world. You cannot even begin to imagine what you've set in motion this day. Go to the Temple of Light in the eastern city of Karast. There you will find the gate to hell opened before you. You must find the courage to step through that gate, Marius. Take the stone you hold to the Hellforge, where it will be destroyed. Now run. Take the stone and run!
What choice did I have? I ran.
Okay. Like I said, it's been so long since I've seen the cutscene. I was like, okay, I'll let this one play out. I know I'm skipping the cutscenes, or not the dialogue, because I feel like most of you guys want me to skip that. But I just wanted to check out that cutscene because I haven't seen it in a long time. But we're at the start of Act 3, but I gotta go level up another character. I do have a boson, though, and I'm thinking that I could go log in and do Act 3 on that boson, because it is completely different. I'm saving my respec points because I would like to try to perfect the character, and the other one I built completely different. So I think for the next part, it is going to be a different class. It's the same class but a different spec. So I hope you guys are okay with that, because I know I said I would do a different class for each act, although again, the playstyles are so different. I hope you guys are okay with that. I don't think many of you guys mind. In fact, I really think that most people want to see the boson, but hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing the hammer Amazon, and in Act 3 we're going to do it as the Zon, that's a boson, and then in Act 4 we're going to do it as an assassin, and then Act 5, I don't know, you guys can let me know down below in the comment section below what you guys would like to see. Sorry again for the audio being a little bit louder over there. There's nothing that I can do about that because I have my in-game settings. You can see this game's volume does not scale with the actual Diablo game audio when it comes to the menu, as well as any of the cinematics. I guess I could have went to Windows and maybe did that. I'm not sure if that would actually work, if that would reset on each time I'm opening up multiple instances of the game. Because you can open up multiple instances of Median XL Sigma on the same account and still trade with yourself, which you have to have, you can't be logged into the same character, but you can be logged into different characters on the same account, which is actually really cool. Lets you just transfer items much easier, because I generally don't like to throw items on the ground. It almost never happens where you DC, but in the random RNG chance that it does, I'd be pretty upset. But anyways, yeah, this is the unique that we got. You can actually farm Duriel and Duriel, but I felt like that was a pretty easy playthrough. Man, we breezed through that one. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed part 2 of it, and Act 3 will be out very soon, later tomorrow. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the vid. If you did, drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel and would like to see the third part, hopefully you watch the first part first. But again, I know the idea of a hammer Amazon sounds too cool, and it is cool. But again, this has a little bit of issues. But we'll see how that turns out as far as in rifts, because there is greater rifts in this game. But you have to get there, obviously. This is the early game. We'll see what it is when it comes to the late game as far as its viability. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Peace out. Have a good one. I'm signing out.